everyone, welcome back to my channel. Just wanted to show, we're going to start a baby cards. Actually, I'm going to make quite a few actually, because it's that time of year, right? And there's people having babies. So I have one that I need to send out for a gift. So I thought I would just make a whole bunch of them very similar in style. So that's my plan. And I'm just going to show you really quick what I'm using. So I will do the die cutting ahead of time before I start the project. So I'm going to use this Pretty Pink Posh Eyelet rectangle dies. I'm using this size right here. This one, the one in. I'm going to use that. I'm going to use the Hero Arts rectangle infinity dies. That'll be to cut the outside paper. I'll show you here in a second. I'm going to use these Pretty Pink Posh sentiments. There's a really cute one that says congratulations on here. That's probably what I'm going to say or what I'm going to do. Yeah, probably. Yeah, probably just congratulations, unless I find something else. I'd like to get a baby set, but I won't get one in time. And then these are the Pretty Pink Posh sentiment strips, sentiment strip die sets that can cut these out. And so I'll probably use, I'm not sure which one of these. So, yeah. So then I went ahead and I cut some of this stuff ahead of time. So I did these. Look at how cute that is. So here's the plan. And then on my Cricut, because I don't have a onesie die cut, I'm going to cut onesies on my Cricut. So I'm going to do that and I'll come back and show you what that looks like. And you can it'll be a little on a hanger. And then I'll put the little congrats right here. Probably one of these ones with the little tails. Or congratulations. I think that'll be really cute. So that's the plan. I have a whole bunch of these different ones, yellows and pinks, and yeah, see how cute? I think those will be really cute. I thought that was fun. So that's my plan for my baby cards. So I'll show you what those little die cuts look like of my on the Cricut. I'm going to get those cut tonight too. So more to come. All right. Thank you. We'll see you back here soon. Okay, and here we are ready to get started. You can see that I had went to my Cricut and I cut a whole bunch of these adorable little onesies. I did them in multiple different colors because I was going to do, multiple baby cards and the little hangers. Oh, they're so cute, so tiny, adorable. I love it. And then these were the papers that I'm going to use underneath that eyelet rectangle. So I was just trying to, as my normal way, I continue to map out my project throughout the whole process because it changes, definitely changes. And I have changed things up and that's totally fine. I was trying to decide where I should stack up some of my die cuts. So that pattern paper, which is extremely old, by the way. It came from the basement. I think it was from my scrapbook days from like 20 years ago or something. And it was packed away in a box when we moved. So anyway, but it's perfect for this. I love the soft, pattern of it. It just looks really cute. So that's adorable. I really like that. But it's very flimsy paper. So I felt like it was probably going to need something to make it a little more substantial. So just was trying to figure out where I was going to add the dimension. That is where I end up putting it, just doing one piece of paper to give it a little more, so just so that it's not so flimsy looking. And then right there, I'd had this idea like, oh, this would be so cute as a shaker card. And I was thinking of a baby rattle and I was like, oh, I better write that down right away before I forget. Because I will, because that's what I do, is forget. So anyway, just continuing here. So here I glued two together. So I also made these a little more substantial. I used this basil, I think is what I always used to call it, basil, whatever. And I glued two together. So, and then I just pulled out my brushes. I didn't put new ink. Most of these I didn't put any new ink on. And I just used what ink was on my corresponding brushes and put that around the edges of the little onesie just to give it a little more interest, a little more dimension, so that it looked Just gives it a little something. So here I'm pulling out the yellow one. These are my blending brushes that I got these from Amazon. Everybody has blending brushes. So I did just mention that I got them on Amazon, but I didn't actually link the ones I got. Simon Says Stamp has some really nice ones. Gina K, everybody has. Scrapbook.com. They all have them. So, but I do love blending brushes. That is really nice. I have pouncers too, but I haven't used those that much. So maybe soon we'll try get those out and try those out. So you can see that so I hadn't glued them all together. So I was just kind of showing you what I was going to do. And here I'm going to glue the two together. I think it didn't make my card too thick. I think we're okay to mail still. I do worry about that, the mailing aspect of it, but so far so good. And using just my tweezers to get everything, on there perfectly. I have a harder time just with my fingers and my hands, so I tend to use the tweezers to get everything lined up. And plus, as you notice, I've seen in my previous videos, I use those to get all the die cuts lined up together as well. So yeah, don't forget to put the pin back in your bottle. All right, so and now we're going to do a little bit more ink blending now that I've got those glued. I just didn't have as many as I wanted, and then it turns out I came up with too many, so that's fine. So again, here I actually had to pull out a little bit of ink because it was not quite enough. So that was Salty Ocean. I decided Salty Ocean wasn't the right color. Then I used, I think that's tumbled glass. Oh, is that right? Yeah. Yeah, it looks like tumbled glass. And I used that one. So Salty Ocean was just a little bit too much. So, but I had the inks for the other. Oh no, see, I just decided. So I changed my mind. So I went with Mermaid Lagoon, I think is what that one is. So anyway, any blue to suit you. I just wanted it to kind of blend with the paper a little better. Those others just the one was too bright. The other one was a little like Goldilocks, right? And then the other one was just too, it was almost the same. And so this one worked out really good. I think it turned out really pretty. You can barely see it, but you can tell. I mean, I can tell. So I just do think it gives it a little bit of interest. And I like the way that looks. I do a little bit more of this a little later too. So there'll be more ink blending. So you just come in from the edges. And then I always make sure that I put my plastic back on my mats. I do wash those, about once a week. It depends on how often I use them. So, all right, here's the hangers. So now we're going to start gluing our hangers. I also doubled these up and stacked them. They were a little tedious. They're tiny little hangers, but oh, so cute. So it worked. I think it was exactly what I was looking for. So I was really excited that the Cricut had that. I typically don't use the Cricut a lot in my card making anymore. I mean, I used to. That's the only way I would make cards. But until I, rediscovered my love of stamping and die cuts. So all right, so just continuing to glue the little hangers. And then we'll get them glued onto the little onesies. Oh, they're so cute. I gotta pick up more of those my little cat bowls. I actually had to use one for my dog's food the other day. It was pretty funny. So anyway, it's just silly. So I only have two. I need to get a few more. I'm working on some Easter cards and I have two of them full. I did find some really nice new ones at scrapbook.com I'd like to order, but I don't need them. So I'm trying to be good. I already bought enough new toys this week. So things to come. Yeah, things to show you and things to come. I'm excited. So those little hangers, I really can't get enough. That's cute. It would have been cute if, they do have like little embellishment hanger, probably, like plastic ones you could probably use. I don't know. But paper's fine. I love paper. I have lots of paper. So I can just use my scraps. So many scraps. I'm sure we all have so many scraps. So this is such a good scrap buster. Cards, period, I think are good scrap busters in my opinion. You could just use all that stuff. So I'm glad I saved it because I've got a nice, easy place to access it. And yeah, so all right, this part took a little long. Probably should have cut this part out, but we're getting close here, so that's okay. So a few things, I when I decided to make multiples, I need to start doing more of that. So I would encourage everybody as you know, if especially if you're giving away cards and it's birthdays or baby cards or things that you know you're going to need more of, try to make a few extra. So that's what I did here. I'm going to try to do more of that. I think I've talked about this before. I do some vendor shows. So this is a good opportunity for me to make some extras for my shows. So and then have on hand if somebody needs to buy a card, or obviously if I need to send a card. So I make all these cards, but I'm not very good at sending them. So, but look, and then I use my little acrylic block to go ahead and make sure those are all glued down. I do get glue all over my mat. Some people put a little paper down, when they're gluing, but I just do this. I wipe it up. I got my baby wipe stash, and then I use a paper towel and clean it off on my glass mat that I got from Hobby Lobby, and I love it. It works perfect for me. So, I can't really go wrong. So now I am just adhering my hangers to my super cute little onesies now that they've been ink blended. Very cute. Yeah. So something to kind of go back on the ink blending there, when I was doing that, if you noticed, just coming in from the edges. I think I did mention that, but that's how I'm trying to get better at ink blending. And depending on the look I want, coming in from the edges is what works. That is what I do later on too, when I do the other part of my background, which you'll see soon. So yeah, they look really adorable with the little hangers. So I'm actually going to get my gift all ready today to ship out. So I'm excited to send them their baby card. I just have to go pick up a gift card. Yep. So and then just placing things, making sure they're on there. I don't know. It was a little weird. The way the hangers sat, I felt like they didn't fit right, but it was probably just me. I've mentioned that I'm crooked, so and I am. So there you go. But they're so cute. So yeah, I did speed this up, just so everybody knows. So sped it up just a little bit, because otherwise it was like, an hour and a half or so long. So it took a little bit. It took me definitely like a week to get these done, because, over time, I don't get a lot of time to work on it, and I like to sleep. So, but it's good. They turned out good. I've got one to give away, for my stash, and then I actually have a few more. I think I'll probably throw together a little later, when I'm just sitting here needing something to do and it doesn't have to be super challenging. But I have new things to play with, so I'm very excited about that. So I got a better press. You'll have a video coming on that, and I just got a glimmer machine, and I got some of Yana Smokola's new better press plates, and I did a beautiful, beautiful, my very first time ever on the glimmer using that peony background. It's stunning. It's beautiful. I mean, I can definitely get better, but it's gorgeous. Black with gold. Oh, I can't wait to make a card with it. So now I'm going to get my backgrounds together. So these are 4¼ by 11 and then folded at 5½. That's a standard A2 size. I use my EK tools to put the press in there, the bend in there, and then I have a bigger actually bone folder that I use. So here and then I cut down some paper using my Hero Arts rectangle infinity dies because I wanted a background obviously to match. And so here's me again thinking, okay, here's my layout. This is what it's going to look like. I was trying to determine exactly what I knew. I was going to use the word congratulations because I scoured my stash and I couldn't find the right thing. So congratulations, turned out cute. But here, you'll see in a second that my blues did not match that paper underneath. And I was like, that doesn't look good. I didn't like it. I just felt like it wasn't the right color blue. So see, I'm like, oh, is that what I do is I change the background paper, and it actually works out fine, I think. And then do some ink blending, spoiler alert. And it works out fine. I think it looks really good. So I did make a change. The paper, that blue, that came in this big paper pack where I got these plaids and everything. So they all matched really nicely, but it just didn't go with the paper I chose for my onesie. So, all right, just getting things lined up. I decided that I needed some interest on that background paper. So here I used the Swiss Dots embossing folder. And I went ahead and I decided to give some interest around the edges to each of those. You can see the ones I completed up at the top there, and then I'm completing the blue one. And I just think it adds so much. It gives the paper some dimension. It actually makes that blue onesie blend in better, and the others as well. It just gives it, some, I don't know, interest, I guess, to that. I'm just going in from the side. You can see me tapping off so that it's not too heavy when I first go in, and I just come in from the sides of each one, and then lighter inside. And then I don't put any on the inside at all for a couple reasons. I'm going to put something there, right? And then for another, because I want that variation to show the dimension. And I think it looks really good with that Swiss Dots folder, and because that's a real subtle embossing folder. I think it turned out really good. All right, here I've pulled out the Big Misty. I am using my Congratulations from that Simple Sentiments dice or stamp set from Pretty Pink Posh. And this is actually a piece of 100-pound cardstock from Michael's because I wanted it to be a little thicker because I didn't want to double it up. And it was a scrap that I accidentally stamped on and messed up. So I turned it over and used it. So here I'm just, getting things lined up. I just wipe that off each time with my stamp chamois. Now, my stamp chamois was a little damp, so be careful that your stamp is dry when you go and put it back on the paper, because there was a time where I was like, oh, there's a wet spot there. So just make sure it's dry when you put it back on there, and then really lightly tap. So for a delicate word stamp like this, you just a quick tap, you gently press the ink in, and then you just quickly, yeah, that's it. Just real quick, very light, because you want to be able to read the words and you don't want the words to be squished in there. So now I am going to glue the backs. I said I wanted to stack up that pattern paper a little bit just to make it a little more substantial. So this Eyelet rectangle die, because of all those holes, it's a little messy to try to get it in there. And then when I was gluing it on the paper too, because I didn't really want it to lift. So I made a little mess on my glass mat, but again, I just wipe it up with my baby wipe. It's totally fine. I use my tweezers there to make sure everything lines up and all of my eyelets line up. And then I'm using my acrylic block to make sure everything is secure. I had to clean up between each one because that glue got everywhere in between the little eyelets, because I just wanted to make sure that it adhered well. So anyway, there's that. All right, and I'm just going to keep getting these things glued. There was a few, so this is a great die set. I was excited to get it. I got the circle one, so I'm excited about trying that on a card. I think that'll be really pretty. I have so many ideas and not enough time. So here I just tried to get some glue in between each of the eyelets, and that's what made it so messy. But it's a great die set. I've used it so many times. I just think it adds something. It's, it can be sweet. It can be you can just do a lot with it. It's a very cute set. So it's in the way I store my stamps and dies. And I have sections. They're sectioned out. They have like file folders. They're actually comic book file folders. And I use these plastic fridge bins. And I have a section that's called favorites, and it's in my favorites section. Just so the things that I use a lot, I just know right where they're at. I don't have to go search for them. So it's in the favorites section. I love that one, along with almost everything in this. The Hero Arts rectangular dies, this Pretty Pink Posh sentiment stamp dies. Those are in there. So I guess that's just saying that these are a little bit of my go-tos. So all right, yeah, so just I used my tweezers to line things up. This is how I do it. This works well for me, and yeah, works really well. So now it's the way I do it. Cleaning up, clean as you go. I think that's always important. So just to make sure that, because I don't want any glue sticking somewhere that I don't want it. It just depends on what I'm doing. It's messy. Glue is messy. Don't forget to put your pin back in the bottle. I say that every time. I did get a new glue press. Oh gosh, all this new stuff. I gotta stop. I got the My Sweet Petunia glue press. So that is exciting. I was thinking that I had that on camera here, but maybe not. We'll see. I did cut some things out. So I don't know. But it is nice. So far, so good. I like it with my hands. I think it's easier, but then I don't know. We'll see. I'm still messing around with it. I'm not sure. Um, but I do like it. I think it's nice. I like that I don't have to put the pin back in the bottle every time. So here I was kind of trying to flatten my things out. So I used, the ink blending and the embossing folder, and everything was kind of like a little flimsy. It might have been nice to just use a thicker cardstock there, but I don't have 100 or 110-pound colored cardstock. So it's fine. I end up using foam tape. So everything flattened out just fine. I think they look really nice. So here I'm using my Pretty Pink Posh sentiment dies, and I'm trying to decide which ones. I did decide to do multiples, different kinds, because they're all cute. The only ones I really don't use are those regular straight ones there. But that's okay. I will. So I tend to need bigger ones for that, which I do have a bigger set, which will be really nice too. I really needed that lately for bigger dies that I don't have a corresponding die, or bigger stamps where I don't have a corresponding die. So I'm excited about that. So I went ahead and cut those off camera. You could see me getting prepped for that. And now I'm going to go ahead, and it's time to start putting things together. Super excited. So this is my big foam tape. It's just 3M. I got it on Amazon. It's nothing special. I don't know what thickness it is, and I'd have to go back and look at my Amazon order, but it works perfect for me. I would love to get multiple thicknesses, but it's one of those things I don't need. I don't need any of this stuff, but I love it. So it is my current passion. I'm really enjoying card making. It's really fun. I'm excited that you're here to listen. So hopefully you're learning something. So I do get 5 on there. I wanted it to stay nice and flat because this didn't flatten out, and I didn't want it to flatten out too much. It does have the Swiss dots on there, so I wanted that dimension to show through. So see how pretty that is with the ink blending on there. I just love it. So anyway, I don't know what I was showing you there, but something. Anyway, and then now we're going to go ahead and peel off the backer. So I use a lot because I wanted it to be straight, and I didn't want it to, if it does go through the mail, I didn't want any parts to sink if it gets smashed for some reason or anything like that. So I stood up to get things lined up. Yep. And that looks, you see my head. You can't avoid the head. You can't avoid it, but that's okay. It works out fine. See, that looks so. All right, and now we're going to begin, continue putting together the baby cards. So these are my stacked eyelet rectangle dies. So there's 2 pieces of paper there, and I'm going to put that on top of the Swiss dot embossed Embossing. Oh, there's my glue press. See, I told you. Look at that. See, isn't it neat? And what's cool about that is that you can use it, and I still, with all those little holes, it still was kind of challenging. However, it works out fine. Um, but I do like it. You know, what I love, again, I don't have to put the pin in it. It has this really neat little, I don't know, squishy silicone or whatever, I don't know, where that the fine tip needle goes, or the fine tip goes into, so you never have to cap it. Now, if I'm not using it for a day, I do put the cap on it. I'm just a little paranoid. I don't want it to dry up because it's just a pain when that happens. So I still get glue everywhere, but that's just because of this particular die, and I wanted it to go all the way down. So totally fine. Cleaning up as I go. Yeah. But I do like it. I think it turned out, I like the glue press. I've been wanting it for a while. It's been sitting in my cart, and I finally just got it, and I think it'll be really nice. I feel like I've got all the toys. The only thing new that I really, really want that I haven't gotten is the Brothers Scan and Cut. I'd really like to have that for all my stamps that don't have a die. But that's okay. I work around it. I've got definite workarounds. So now, so I have my little sentiment and just figuring out placement here. So I go ahead and place the sentiment first. So using my nice little glue press again, I do like it. I do really like it. The more I use it, it was nice and easy. And then, yeah, it came with one bottle of glue that had a fine tip, and then one that had empty that had a regular. So I think it's Nouveau glue or something. So I'm just using what they gave me for now, but I have a whole bunch. So look, there it is. That's my finished card. Well, no, it's not. We put a little more on there, but that's basically my finished card. I forgot. Spoiler alert. So just trying to make sure everything gets adhered everywhere I want. I don't want anything to lift up. So okay, and so here we are just working on the pink one now. Sorry, my phone's in frame there. I don't know. I was taking pictures, I think, I'm sure. Again, using the 5 strips of foam tape. So wanting to make sure that that stays really nice and flat on the card. So, and I'm using, heavy stock, 100-pound or 110-pound weight cardstock. So definitely got the stability. It will give both of these things, give it the stability that it needs. Having to stand up a little just to make sure that I'm getting that lined up. I really see, look at how pretty that dimension looks. I love that. And you can see, even though this is, I don't have it zoomed in very well. I should, but I'm still working on all my technology stuff. So okay, getting this one glued on here with my new glue press. Yep, still messy, but looks good. I do really like it. So it was, a little tedious to make sure all those little pieces, but yeah, it works out good. I like it. I like it a lot. So love the dimension and how that looks. So get this lined up nice and straight. I really have to stand up to make sure. And I put that little block there to keep my paper down. So works out really good. I just have to be careful because the glue gets all over that block. So, and then always something to do while I'm waiting for the glue to dry. Always something to clean. Yeah. So anyway, here we are. And getting the pink one all set. Oh, it turned, yeah. So I don't believe that I put all these together on camera, but I did want to show you just a few of them. So here I am placing the sentiment because I, want to make sure there's room for everything. And then that way, then I place my, die cut onesie. So yeah, they turned out really nice. I think it's perfect. I thought about splatter. There's different things you could do. These are really simple. They really are simple. There's not much to them, I mean, nobody's probably going to save this or anything. So, but they're still cute. I put, I like the little little tiny extras that I put into it, and I think they're really nice. So taking pictures, yeah. So sending them off to whoever I was talking to, and then yeah, I used my bone folder there a little bit because I just felt like it didn't crease. You know, I don't know. It's just when there's a lot in there. So there's those two. Those two done. Very cute. So. And then here are the others. So this was an interesting yellowy brown color, but I actually really like it. I think it turned out nice. I'm happy with the way it turned out. So I think it looks good. So. All right, and this is what it looked like all put together, and the rest of them actually. So I got them all done here. You'll see me laying them out. They turned out really nice. I'm just explaining how the ink blending kind of really matched with that paper. You know, I know it's kind of weird brown, but it goes with yellow. It goes with the yellow. I think it looks really good. So these turned out really cute. They're simple, not super complicated, but yet with a little bit of the, you know, the ink blending, gave it a little character. So I was pretty excited. I think they turned out really nice. So I think actually, I don't think I've added the bling. That might be next. So let's see. Yep, I was like, ooh, got to add a little bling. And there's the bling. See how cute that turned out? Use some sequins on those. Those are its candy corn sequins from Trinity Stamps. And then I used these dewdrops from Amazon. So thank you for watching my video. I hope you like, share, and subscribe. And I can't wait to make another card with you again soon. Thank you.